Welcome to this deep dive exploration into the life and contributions of Thomas Henshaw, a figure whose career spanned law, diplomacy, scientific inquiry, and the esoteric realm of alchemy. Today, we unravel the layers behind a man who not only witnessed but actively shaped an era of profound intellectual transformation in the 17th century. With roots in the complex tapestry of English society, Henshaw's legacy is built upon rigorous legal education, astute mathematical pursuits, and intensive alchemical experimentation. His technical acumen and diplomatic exploits offer an intricate case study of how early modern scientific thought intertwined with political power and mystical traditions. This video is tailored for experts, providing deep technical insights, advanced fact-driven analysis, and precise evaluations of his contributions. We explore his engagements, from early scholarly endeavors under prominent mathematicians to dynamic travels across turbulent battlefields, and culminate with his pivotal role in establishing the Royal Society. Thomas Henshaw was born into a family steeped in the mercantile and legal cultures of 17th century England. Baptized on the 15th of June 1618 at St. Mary Magdalene, Milk Street in the city of London, he was the son of Benjamin Henshaw and Anne, and his early life was influenced profoundly by his family environment. His brother Nathaniel later emerged as an equally significant intellectual counterpart, ensuring that scholarly debate was a common household feature. Henshaw's initial education took place at Barnet and then at Cripplegate in London, under the guidance of the respectable scholar Thomas Farnaby, where classical learning was rigorously pursued. His academic journey continued when he was admitted as a commoner to University College, Oxford, in 1634, although he remained there for 5 years without taking a formal degree. This unconventional academic path reflected his deeper passion for experimental and innovative studies outside the rigid confines of formal education. At the suggestion of Obadiah Walker and Abraham Woodhead, Henshaw turned his attention to mathematics, a discipline that promised secrets of the natural world. Under the tutelage of renowned mathematician William Oughtred at Albury, Surrey, he immersed himself in mathematical theories for 9 months, finding this intensive study a refreshing departure from the standard curriculum offered by his tutor John Elmhurst. His engagement in mathematics opened doors to connections with luminaries such as the Rosicrucian scholar William Backhouse. This formative period laid a rigorous intellectual foundation that later propelled his ventures into scientific inquiry and alchemy. During the tumultuous times of the English Civil War, Henshaw's allegiance to Charles I marked a decisive chapter in his life. He volunteered to join the Royalist forces at York, demonstrating an early commitment to his sovereign even in a fiercely divided nation. Soon after his involvement in the conflict, Henshaw found himself in London and was captured by parliamentarian forces, an experience that would later inform his cautious political maneuvers. Granted permission to leave England on strict conditions, notably to refrain from rejoining the king's army, he sailed to Holland, where he encountered new military and intellectual environments. In Holland, Henshaw participated in a campaign under William II, Prince of Orange, absorbing the tactical and diplomatic nuances of warfare. His military acumen was further honed when he entered the French army, achieving the rank of major, and served under notable figures like Sir Robert Moray. His continental journey then led him through the diverse cultural landscapes of Spain and Italy. In Italy, Henshaw resided in major centers of learning, including Rome, Venice, and Padua, where he immersed himself in a blend of classical scholarship and emerging scientific thought. His travels were enriched by a serendipitous encounter with John Evelyn in Pisa, setting off a profound and lasting friendship. Together, Henshaw and Evelyn visited the elaborate exhibitions of Athanasius Kircher in Rome, an experience that broadened Henshaw's perspective on the interplay between science and esoteric traditions. During his stay in Italy, he also accompanied the young Henry Howard and spent a significant period in Padua with Francis Bramston, engaging with advanced mathematical and scientific discourses. His experiences during these travels not only refined his military and diplomatic skills, but also enriched his scientific outlook, laying the groundwork for future contributions to the Royal Society and the broader scientific revolution. Following his return to England amid the complexities of the Commonwealth period, Henshaw chose a path of cautious retreat and concentrated study in Kensington, then a quiet suburb outside London. Here, he integrated into a vibrant network of scholars and alchemists, including members of the so-called Chemical Club, founded by Robert Child in 1650. Within this circle, alongside Thomas Vaughan and William Webb, Henshaw engaged in experimental alchemy, where he pursued elusive substances such as the alkahest. His involvement transcended laboratory endeavors. Henshaw also became a key intellectual interlocutor in the Hartlib Circle, corresponding with Samuel Hartlib and exchanging ideas on practical and theoretical aspects of natural philosophy. In continued alignment with radical intellectual visions, he is noted for being mentioned in Elias Ashmole's preface to Way to Bliss, where his expertise in the occult sciences was recognized. Equally impressive was his contribution to Ashmole's Theatrum Chemicum Britannicum, a compendium that heavily drew on Henshaw's library, renowned for its extensive and technical works on alchemy and natural philosophy. Living in the historic Pond House in the manor of Westtown, Kensington, Henshaw not only conducted experiments, but also fostered a utopian Christian learned society. This society, composed of 8 dedicated members, including prominent figures like Vaughan, was emblematic of the era's ambition to meld spiritual ideals with scientific inquiry. In an atmosphere that prized intellectual daring and empirical scrutiny, Henshaw's endeavors reflected an advanced synthesis of chemical experimentation, numerical analysis, and metaphysical exploration. Emerging from a life marked by political turmoil and relentless inquiry, Henshaw played a formative role in the establishment and evolution of the Royal Society. Following the Restoration, he was instrumental as a member of the council that succeeded the Committee of 12, laying the groundwork for what would become a pivotal institution in scientific advancement. Elected as a Fellow of the Royal Society at its initial constitution in 1663, his commitment to advancing experimental science was unmistakable. In his tenure, Henshaw was noted for his perseverance during periods when the Society's activities waned, often collaborating with figures such as Robert Hooke to galvanize renewed scientific activity. His efforts in revitalizing discussions, experimental demonstrations, and theoretical debates were underpinned by detailed documentation, including numerical data and precise experimental parameters. Henshaw's work, blending rigorous empirical methods with alchemical traditions, provided critical insights into material transmutation and chemical processes. Furthermore, his contributions extended to fostering interdisciplinary collaboration. Henshaw encouraged dialogue between natural philosophers and alchemists, integrating methodical record-keeping with creative hypothesis testing. His technical presentations and rigorous analyses helped solidify the transition from alchemy's speculative art toward what became modern chemistry. The meticulous nature of his investigations and his willingness to engage with complex numerical analyses provided a clear framework for subsequent experimental methodologies used by the Society. In addition to his scientific and intellectual pursuits, Henshaw carved out a significant diplomatic career that showcased his multifaceted talents. In 1672, he was appointed as the secretary to Charles Stuart, the 3rd Duke of Richmond, who served as ambassador extraordinary to Denmark. Following the Duke's untimely death on the 12th of December of the same year, Henshaw was commanded to remain in Denmark as envoy extraordinary, a post he held for approximately 2.5 years. His role required the delicate balancing of diplomatic protocol, linguistic precision, and strategic negotiation, and it came at a time when England's interests in Northern Europe were particularly volatile. While serving abroad, Henshaw produced detailed dispatches that included comprehensive reports on economic and military conditions, underpinned by exact numerical data and astute analysis of European political dynamics. His work as an envoy entrenched him in the intricate network of continental diplomacy, and he effectively represented English interests amid shifting alliances and evolving power structures. Upon his return, he continued to serve in high-ranking positions, notably as Under-Secretary of the French Tongue and Gentleman of the Privy Council under Charles II, James II, and William III. Throughout his diplomatic tenure, Henshaw maintained meticulous correspondence that incorporated quantitative analyses and strategic assessments, often referencing economic indices, military inventories, and detailed maps. These data-driven reports not only informed government policy, but also demonstrated his unique capability to merge analytical rigor with diplomatic nuance, cementing his reputation as an erudite statesman. His diplomatic legacy remains a benchmark in data-informed statecraft. Henshaw's literary output, though not voluminous, offers deep technical insights that resonate with experts even today. His most prominent publication was the translation of Álvaro Semedo's account titled History of the Great and Renowned Monarchy of China. This work not only provided Europeans with a window into Chinese civilization, but also included a detailed narrative of the late invasion by the Tartars, complete with precise accounts of political and military logistics. Following the Restoration, Henshaw contributed several minor papers to the philosophical transactions of the Royal Society. These papers delved into scientific experiments, discussing quantitative measurements and procedural intricacies in brief treatises on the production of saltpeter and gunpowder. His editorial work is further evidenced by his collaboration on Stephen Skinner's Etymologicon Linguae Anglicana in 1671, where his epistle underscored the importance of linguistic precision in deciphering scientific terminology. Thomas Henshaw's personal life, though less documented than his professional exploits, provides important context to his multifaceted legacy. He married Anne Kipping, daughter of Robert Kipping of Tudley, Kent, and together they had 6 sons and 2 daughters. This family life reflects the intertwined personal and intellectual worlds of his time. His daughter Anne, notable as his sole survivor, further connected the Henshaw legacy by marrying Thomas Halsey of Gaddesden, Hertfordshire, thereby extending his influence into subsequent generations. Beyond his familial bonds, Henshaw's contributions to law, diplomacy, science, and alchemy left an indelible mark on 17th-century society. His scientific endeavors, most notably his role in founding the Royal Society, bridged the gap between mystical alchemical traditions and emerging empirical approaches that paved the way for modern chemistry. His writings contributed to the body of knowledge that informed later scientific and historical scholarship, ensuring his name resonated through generations of researchers and scholars.